Hey guys, it's Vanity, Ezel by Craft Vanguard, Ezel and Vanity, weekly review. If you guys enjoyed, don't like, comment, subscribe, and sorry. So this time we have more reviews, pretty much the ending of Dragon Soul Resonance, because even though last week was the ending, there's always one or two cards that seep out after the set is revealed that were released, and yeah, we got two of those today. And then we have the new Touken Ranbu stuff, which I don't know why they're doing this, but okay, cool, we have Touken Ranbu collab. Let's get this started. First up, we have Mucius Monster Nebadraw, so grade 1 boost 5k Shodeke base, auto rear guard when it boosts a grade 3 grade Vanguard monster in the card name, soul charge 1, so it's a free soul charge, not bad. And then Decay Monster Bad Molder, grade 3 200%, 13k base. Auto rear guard when attacks into a Vanguard. If your order zone has 3 more set orders, Energy Blast 3 chooses one of your opponents from a rear guard and calm as it. And until end of your opponent's next turn, that unit cannot intercept and cannot stand during the stand phase. So it's pretty solid. It works with literally any Brancade deck that wants to put in multiple set orders into your order zone. But it's nice that for at least the monster deck, so AK, Elder Glemma, and Arkwright, it does work really well because they both want to have multiple set orders in the order zone. My thing is, I don't know why these were released separately compared to the monster reveals, because we did actually get monster reveals for Elder Glemma specifically, at least in terms of theory, earlier in the set, but Bushy does Bushy. Moving on, we have our new Touken Ranbu stuff. So first up, we have Kashu Kiyomitsu. So grade 0 boost 5k, shield 6k base, honor prime for second draw card, so standard starter message hero if you go second. So these names might seem familiar to you, and that's because the very first Touken Ranbu cards that were released had the exact same skills, or at least have the exact same names as these next few cards. So I don't know if it just is the ride line or if it's the rest of the support too, but the thing is these new ride line cards have different skills even though they're the same name, so pretty much is what an actual like evolution looks like, or to be more exact, is more of like an errata to the old stuff. So moving on, we have Kashu Kijimitsu Sento, grade 1 boost 5k Shodeke base, auto and Rotopan by Kashu Kiyomitsu Toku, reveal a grade 3 card of Kashu Kiyomitsu in the card name from your ride deck to put a forge token into your order zone. Then auto and Rotopan by Kashu Kiyomitsu Toku, check the top card, put it at the top of your deck or into your soul. So when Rotopan by the grade 2, you both get to check the top card of your deck and yeet it to soul or gain basically a trigger at the top, and you get a forge token into your ride deck. You get both. And then continues rear guard during your turn, gets 2000 power. So not a bad, it's a 10k. You don't really need it on rear guard though, but it's a very solid card to have deck stacking ability and reveal cards with. I remember this is the deck that actually made me interested in the Touken Ranbu ride line. Did I ever play it? No. The one time I did try to play it, it wouldn't work on tabletop for me, but I think it's very interesting of a deck, and if I were to pick it up, this is where I would start. Then we have our Forge token. So it is a Touken Ranbu token set order. It represents a Forge token to help you put into the deck. For the record, there's another Forge token. You can only have, the separate Forge tokens. And if it contains order zone, you can only activate the act ability of a Forge total once per turn. Act order zone once per turn. You put a card other than a heal trigger or over trigger from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck to reveal cards on top of your deck equal to the number of norm units as the same number of Forge orders in your order zone. Choose one of the revealed norm units, call to rear guard circle as rest. If that called unit's grade is less than or equal to your Vanguard, stand it, and it gets 5000 power till end of turn for each other norm unit revealed by this effect and shuffle your deck. So pretty much you hit the same number of norm units as the number of Forge orders in your order zone. So if you have 3 of them in the order zone, you check the top, or you keep checking until you see 3 norm units. If I'm correct on that, if I'm incorrect, someone please correct me. Call one of the norm units, and then it gets another 5k for each one. Very solid order to have. It's pretty good for rear guard recursion all around, so not a bad card as it have as a token. Moving on, we have Kashu Kiyomitsu Toku, grade 2 instead 5k shield, 10k base, auto run placed by riding from Kashu Kiyomitsu Sento, search your deck for up to 1 special investigation Kyo Kofu, reveal per your hand, show off your deck, and when Rotopan by Kashu Kiyomitsu Kiyome, search your deck for up to 1 Yamato Kami Yasuda, reveal per your hand, show off your deck. I swear I butcher like all of these names, and then continues rear guard during turn, gives 2000 power. Again, the 2000 power skill not needed, but it's not a bad skill to have. You do have to call it, but cool. Being able to play another order essentially is pretty solid. Search your deck for another order, and then search your deck for, I think that's a really important rear guard in this deck, so by being rode upon by the grade 3 is pretty solid, but the grade 2 ride upon ability is when placed by riding from the grade 1, so not a bad skill at all to have in the deck. Moving on, we have our grade 2 set order, Special Investigation KO Kofu, grade 2 Touken Ranbu set order event. After set order is played, put your order zone. Play your Vanguards Kashu Kiyomitsu in the card name, and your order zone does not have an event with a different card name from this card. Continues to have Vanguard Kashu Kiyomitsu in the card name, it gets all the following. Auto put into the order zone, transfer for 1 unit card with Ichumio Normi in its card name, reveal per hand, show for your deck. And then act order zone, if your Vanguards are grade 3 or greater, rest 2 event cards in your order zone to choose and reuse Kashu Kiyomitsu in the card name, it gets 5000 power for the turn. So it gives any Kashu Kiyomitsu plus 5k, which is solid. On place, it gets you a free, what I'm assuming is going to be a grade 1 card. I'm pretty sure it's a grade 1 anyways. And not to mention the fact that the only requirements that it has to be placed into order zones, you don't have a different event other than this card. So it's a pretty solid card for both like overall resource management, or like for overall rear guards, but also just good consistency. So very solid, like 4 to have in your deck. Moving on, we have Kashu Kiyomitsu Celebration outfit. So grade 3 turn percent or 13k base. Auto Vanguard once per turn at the ability to attack anything. CB1 and stand this unit, and it loses 2 drive for the turn. If your opponent's Vanguards are grade 3 or greater, it only loses 1 drive instead. So Vanguard restand for only 1 CB is very solid. Not to mention the fact that if your opponent's at grade 3, it just restands for -1 drive instead of -2. But then Auto Vanguard, at the end of its second battle, this unit performed an attack. If your order zone has 3 more copies of your order, unfortunately, to my knowledge, this deck doesn't have a way to superior place orders, which means you're only going to have to wait till your turn 5, I think, for that ability. But if you have 3 more special investigation, KO Kofu, Soul Blast 2, stand, and lose the drive for the turn. So basically, it can do Varga, which it gets 3 attacks, which is honestly pretty solid for a grade 3 multi-attack deck. And again, the first grade 3 multi-attack doesn't require the opponent to be at a specific grade just to restand in general, and it only costs 1 CB to do so. Though I wish it gained power like Varga to make it more broken, but A is what it is. Of course, every sword-based deck has to have multi-attack, so very solid grade 3 to have. Moving on, we have Nagasome Kogetsu Celebration Outfit. Great turns of 5k shield, 10k base. Contains rear guard or guard circle. If you have a Vanguard with either Kasu Kimitsu or Hachisuka Kotetsu in the card name, it gets 5,000 shield. But if your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, it gets an additional 5,000 power as well after burst turns. So basically, once you're on either of the 2 Vanguards, automatically gives you a 10k shield. But if your Vanguard's at a grade 3, they're automatically has a 10k shield and a 15k base. Not bad for overall defensive ability. It's kind of iffy for power because it's only 5,000 power, but it's not the worst card to have in the world. So if you want to run as like a 2 over 3 of tech, depending on which deck it's in, it's a solid option there. What was this one, the Kotetsu? Was that the purple armored one that gave like, I think it gave 5k to everyone? I want to say that's what it is. If his clothes were purple, then I'm thinking of the right card. I don't remember 100% though. Then Yamato Yasuda Celebration Outfit. Great turn stuff 5k shield, 10k base. Okay, this is not the card I thought was being searched off the order. Anyways, continues rear guard circle. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 greater Kasu Kimitsu, it gets boost. And then auto backward rear guard center. When you're grade 3 greater Vanguard, Katsumi Kimitsu and Sun Stand, soul boss 1 standing. Very solid ability. It only costs 1 soul. Downside is that does eat into the secondary restand ability. However, to my knowledge, you're not using a lot of soul until you get to the second restand, so you can spend the game, soul charging, and the ride line does end up helping with that if you don't see a trigger at the top, so not bad. And on top of that, that's not a once per turn ability, meaning every single time the Vanguard stands, if you do end up standing it twice in the turn, it'll stand with it. Not a bad grade to have in the deck, and again, it has boost regardless of where it is on the board, as long as your Vanguard's a grade 3 Kasuki Mitsu, so very solid 3 to have in the deck for support. Then we have Horukawa Kunihiro Celebration Outfit, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto place on rear guard circle, and there's where the problem comes in. So last 2, start director 1, Izumi no Kami Kasenuda in his card name, called to rear guard circle, for the deck. That rear guard better be really good, because that is a very hefty cost for that skill. And then Act Soul Shinken Hisatsu, aka if you have 3 or more damage. Put this card to your drop zone, choosing it with Izumi Kami Kanasada in his card name, and it gets 5,000 power for the turn. Okay. That ability isn't bad, however, it's a Soul Blaster, so it's like the opposite of what you want to do. While this card is good for Soul Blasting, because, it does it to at least further the deck's combo attack style, this one is kind of because yeah, it pulls a rear guard from deck, but it costs twice that amount, and then it has the audacity to Soul Blast itself to give something else 5k when you rather use that Soul Blast on your Vanguard restand. And then we have the rear guard it calls Iozumi Kami Kasada. Is that the card that's played off the order? It is not, that's Nomurin. So Kanasada is an auto rear guard when it attacks a Vanguard. If your Vanguard has Kasu Kimitsu in the card name, Digit gets 5,000 power for the turn. Oh no, when your Vanguard with that name attacks, it gets 5,000 power. And then auto rear guard, that it attacked, put 2 of your rear guards, they combo as it to soul, draw a card. Okay, that's good. It sends 2 rear guards to soul and draw. Does that justify Hokira over here? No. If there's enough generic card in Touken Ranbu that's slow charge, I guess it does, but I mean, it's still really hefty, but that's how you make a really good support card. It gives you soul, twice soul actually, replace itself with a draw, and it gets power every single time your Vanguard attacks, meaning if it swings after your Vanguard's double attack, automatically it's going to be 25k base, so not a bad grade 2 to have in the deck as a 4 of. Then we have Ichiyomi Norame Celebration Outfit, so this is the grade 2 that the order pulls. Grade 2 is a 5k shield, 10k base, all of your Vanguards are grade 3 or greater if this card can be played with Energy Blast 3. Place on rear guard circle, your Vanguard's a Kasu Kimitsu CB1 draw card. We haven't seen any other cards with CB except for the main Vanguard, so if you want to use CB on that skill, you can, but you can also Energy Blast 3 instead to draw. And then auto rear guards return when it attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard or unit, it gets 5,000 power on the battle for each time your Vanguard attack this turn. Pretty solid, because again, the Vanguard is going to attack at least 2 times a turn, so it's going to be a 20k swing, possibly 25k swing. Not a bad grade 2 to have in the deck. I think it's a very solid 3, not a 4, because again, Energy Blast 3 draw a card every single time you place it. Then we have Shinken's Celebration Outfit, grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base, auto and placed on rear guard circle from the hand or by the ability of Forge card. If you do not play an order this turn, ditch a hand card, search deck for 1 set order, discard it, and it gets continuous. This card can be played from drop to end of turn and shuffle your deck. So pretty much it's those generic like order placers that every deck got. I think it was DZ set 2 or one of the festival collections like Obligator Dragon. However, because it's planning on playing a set order, it doesn't return to the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn. It just automatically goes to your order zone, which is very soft for trying to pull out your special investigations, meaning you can start pulling them as soon as possible. And because the whole point of the deck is trying to get as many of those in the order zone as fast as possible for Katsuki Mitsu, this card is an easy 3 of, if not a 4, just an inherent consistency, you get your order in there. And then we have Shoku Daikiri Mitsu Suda Celebration outfit. Great chance to 5k shield, 10k base. Auto placed on either rearguard circle by the ability of your Forge card, or placed on rearguard circle from hand, other than by unit card's ability, or discarded from the hand while riding from the ride deck. Choose a Persona Ride card from your ride deck. You may reveal it if you revealed a card with Persona Ride, Soul Boss 1, and put a Persona to a ticket into your hand. So downside about this skill is you have to actually, no, there's no downside to this because your Vanguard can have Persona Ride as well. I misread that apart. So pretty much it's literally the Persona Ride card but from Touken Ranbu. Not bad card at all. The fact that it has like different standards for its ability too is pretty solid. And then auto rearguard attacks into a grade 3, getting 5,000 power. Okay, cool. Not bad. It's not particularly amazing. It does eat into the soul of the deck a little bit, but again, it's generic for pretty much all Touken Ranbu. So not a bad 2/3 if you want to run it. And then we have Okuda Celebration outfit. Great chance of 5k shield, 10k base. Auto and discard from your hand during your ride deck. Soul Boss 1 bot deck it to draw a card. And then place on rearguard circle Persona of this turn. CB1 perform on the following. Either bind it to choose one of your rearguards and bounce back to your hand, so it allows you to reloop on place abilities, or choose a face-up card in your damage zone and put it to your hand. If you put a card from the top of your deck into your damage zone, also face up. All around pretty solid because like how this card's a generic Persona Ride user, this is the generic like Soul Blast bot deck draw card cycler, which also means it has the Persona Ride ability, which again either allows you to bounce back a rearguard to your hand to replicate on place abilities to have him draw a card, or you use it to bounce back an important card in your damage zone and then play it that same turn. For example, your really good order that could end up allowing you to double restand that turn. So not a bad grade to have in the deck, and even though it doesn't this one is kind of annoying, the CB part isn't that bad. So I think it's a solid 3-0 possibly for the deck. Then we have Himetsuya Ichimone Celebration outfit. Great chance to 5k shield, 10k base. On place on guard circle or from hand, or either discard from hand while riding from the right deck. CB1 or NG last 3 draw a card. Okay, we already get it. It's another cycler. And then auto and place on rear guard circle. If Persona of this turn, CB1 or NG boss 3 to put it to your soul. Then reveal cards from top of your deck until you reveal Normie to call that Normie to rear guard circle shuffle your deck. Okay, not bad. Ease into the energy or CB depending on which one you need more of or which one you need less of. Use yourself to soul and then get you an additional rear guard to replace it. Honestly, not a bad generic grade 2. I don't think every single Touken Ranbu deck will need this outside of maybe the first draw skill, but Persona Ride skill is very useful in case you do run it, and it is energy efficient. So I recommend having 2 or 3 copies if your deck can afford it. And then we have Tarotachi Celebration outfit. Grade 3 to Persona 13k base. Auto placed on the ability by your unit with Zero Touch in the card name. This cost may be paid by Soul Boss 2 instead. You will never do that in this deck. When placed on rearguard circle, CB1 draw a card, or again if you place by the card ability, Soul Boss 2 draw, and then auto rearguard when it attacks into anything. Choose one with Zero Touch in the card name. Both that and this you get 5,000 power. So cool. Nice combo card, 18k. Your other rear guard that's calling this unit is also an 18k because also grade 3. I love it when Bushy does combo cards. My thing that annoys me is that they only do combo cards with collab decks. Like, I think Buddy Fight had a handful of collab cards. Touken Ranbu has a hell of combo cards. We rarely get any combo cards in the main game outside of, like, normal units that combo with orders or, like, certain stuff like that, which is kind of annoying to me. I like the idea of combo cards, but Vanguard doesn't do it very often. Moving on, we have Tachi Celebration outfit. Great to turn to Persona 13k base. Auto placed on rearguard circle. Energy Blast 3 to search for 1 Tarotachi card called to rearguard circle shuffle the deck, and auto rearguard when you're using Tarotachi in the card attacks, this unit gets 5,000 power for the turn. So it gets 5,000 from Tarotachi attacking via its own skill, and then Tarotachi gives it another 5,000. So that thing's already at 23k base. Honestly, not a bad grade 3 to have. Gets numbers, pulls rear guards out, and it doesn't cost soul to do it. Thank you to whoever pulls out soul for 1 rear guard randomly. So not a bad card to have in the deck, and not a bad combo set to have if you can afford to run them, even though they do cost you guard power because you know they're grade 3s. So take that as you will as 2/3 of tech options. And now to our last reviews for the day. Sorry this took so long to get up because this part is really hard to translate. So, Makuroku Kanemoto Celebration outfit, grade 2, intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Auto rearguard once per turn. I think about that this unit attack the rearguard. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, Kashu Kimitsu, Soul Boss 1 stand it. And if your opponent's rearguard is retired by battle this turn, or by its own battle, this unit gets 5,000 power to end of turn. So cool. If it ends up killing your rearguard, it gets an extra 5k, but regardless if it killed one or not, it's basically an overlord where it can restand itself. Not a bad grade 2 to have in the deck. The only downside is it does eat into the soul, but I feel like this card is worth kind of running just because it can kill rear guards and can get you multi-attack as well, so I argue 2 of tech for Kanatsuki Motsu. Then we have Dondaki Matsukini Celebration outfit, great to intercept 5k shield, 10k base, auto when boosted by Touken Daishi Wakazashi. Until end of turn, this unit gets auto rear guard once per turn. When this unit stands by a card ability, Energy Blast 3, choose one of your other rear guards and commands it, and it gets 5,000 power and it stands. Cool, so it's able to give a unit 5,000 power, and it's also able to stand something as well just by Energy Blasting 3 when it stands by a card ability. I can't think of anything from Kasukimitsu that allowed something to stand, but I mean, cool. Still a very solid skill to have in the deck, so warranting a 2/3 of. Then we have Hayogi
Masamune Celebration Outfit. Grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base. Is that a... No, that's just how his fingers work. That was best. Is that a gun? Auto when placed on rear guard circle, check the top card of your deck. Put it to either top or bottom. If you put it on bottom, the Vanguard's a grade 3 greater 5,000 power for the turn. So it doesn't have to be on a specific Vanguard. It can be any of your Touken Ranbu Vanguard. So pretty solid there. And again, it's just a free deck that can possible 5k as well. So solid like 2 over 3 of tech, depending on what deck you're building and depending on how often you want to try to drive check triggers. Then we have Hyjin Celebration Outfit, Grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base. I love the red and pink hair. That honestly looks really cool. So it continues, you can have if you have a Wazashi ability Kiami Crest, this unit gets all the following. Continuous, its original shield becomes 15k, so 15k shield on grade 1. And then auto rear guard, by that it boosted. If you have not countercharged this turn, you may countercharge 1. If you do, put this card to the top of your deck. So pretty solid that it actually recurs itself because it gets you a countercharge. And then at the end of the battle that it boosted, it then automatically goes back to the top of the deck. And then you can just auto drive check that. So not a bad grade 1 to have in the deck. And if you end up knowing that your next card is going to be a trigger because maybe you stacked it with this card right here, but then you have something that allows you to draw at the end of the battle, you can use the skill to put Hyjin on top and then use the draw skill to draw Hyjin, so that way you still guarantee your trigger, but in that regard you also still get your counter charger back. So not a bad grade 1 to have in the Waizashi ability Kiami Crest deck. So 2 over 3 of. Actually not 2 over 3, 3 over 4 of, sorry. Then we have Kashigiri Celebration Outfit, grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base. I love the cute little cat on his shoulder. Auto rear guard, when it boosts, if your opponent's Vanguards are grade 3 greater and your order zone has 2 or more forge cards, it has 10,000 power. So not bad. 18k boost just by having the forged orders, so not a bad card at all. 2 over 3 of. And then we have, I really love this guy's art. I love how he's just like so cool with his jacket and his cute little kitty and the sword. Well, and this one just looks kind of boring to me because he's in a suit. Anyways, Kashigiri, so auto rear guard when it attacks anything, and this unit is 2,000 power for the turn, and if you have a Wazaki ability crest, it gets, no physical card your damage zone, it gets additional 10,000 power for the turn. So one of them requires you to have 2 forge cards to get the 10,000 power. The other one requires you just to have the crest and no face-up damage, but one of them is an 18k booster, the other one is a 20k booster, regardless of what grade the opponent's Vanguard is. It's not bad, but like, to be fair, I feel like Kashigiri over here is easier to pull off, the one with the suit, but maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, someone correct me. Then we have this promo card, a little Koro like method, Downer 1 Onisan, so grade 2.5k shield, 10k base. That's a really cool art, dang. This is pretty much the Koro version of a little demonic method evolve here, aka it's auto and plus on rear guard, so we're going to be soul charge 1, then counter boss 1 to draw a card, and auto rear guard when attacks a grade 3 guard unit. If you have a Vanguard, if you have a card in your soul the same name as your Vanguard, it gets 5,000 power for the battle. Okay, not bad. It gets you soul, it gets you a possible hand card as well, not to mention the fact that you can get 5,000 power as long as your soul has a copy of your Vanguard, so depending on if you want to run this or not, it's a 3 over 4. Then we have our Kasen Kanesada, grade 0 boost, 5k shield, 6k base. Okay, I remember aesthetically this was my favorite of the original Touken Ranbu set of cards, so auto and road upon for I can draw a card. And then we have Kasen Kanesada Sento, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto and road upon by Kasen Kanesada Toku, reveal a grade 3 card Kasen Kanesada in its card name from your right deck, put a forge token to your order zone. And then auto and road upon by Kasen Kanesada Toku, choose one of your Vanguards, gets 10,000 power for the turn, so cool, pumps the Vanguard's power to 20k base, screwing over your opponent's guard power, and continues rear guarding 2,000 power. Okay, that 2,000 power doesn't matter, but it's a free 10k to the Vanguard and a free forge token, so why not run it? And then we have Kasen Kanesada Toku, grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base, auto in place by writing from Kanesada Sento. So if you're deck for up to 1 special investigation, Keicho Kumamoto, reveal put your hand off your deck. Then when it's ruled upon by Kasen Kanesada Kiwame, soul charge 1, and choose your Vanguard to get 5,000 power for the turn, so gets you a free soul charge, and it gets your Vanguard an 18k base for the turn, and it gets you that free orders by writing from the grade 1, so all around pretty solid. And then the standard contains rear guard during your turn, gets 2k skill, and then importance, so you obviously don't need in the main deck, but again, very solid skill for overall supporting the Vanguard, but also getting an order out. Then we have Kasen Kanesada Celebration Outfit, grade 2 to 9 persona, 13k base, auto Vanguard once per turn, rest any number of your rear guards, and it gets 5,000 power to the turn for each rear guard rested for the cost, so Dayusha. And then auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks, perform all the following according to this unit's power. If it's 30k or greater, you draw a card, and you, the player, get all your front rear guards, get 5,000 power to the end of turn. Don't know why it doesn't give it to the Vanguard to make its job easier, but whatever. 4,000 or greater, it gets +1 critical for the turn, and 5,000 or greater, or 50,000 or greater, so 40,000, 50,000 until end of the battle when your opponent would call cards behind a guard cycle and call 3 more at the same time. So pretty solid. I don't remember how this deck is supposed to consistently get the number by beyond 50, but I mean that's probably persona writing, but still being able to get hello to numbers and then draw a card, give your front row 5k if there's any front row rear guards left standing, get crit pressure as well, and then get guard pressure is pretty solid for overall in a grade 3. I feel like it's still a little lacking though, because again that requires a lot of investment from other cards just to get to the 40k, if not just the 50k itself, but I mean, it's still a very solid, grade 3 to have in the deck as like a main unit. Then we have Jizo Yukihara Celebration Outfit. It is too early to be announcing Japanese card names. It's 338 right now. Grade 2 and stuff, 5k shield, 10k base. Contains, you may have up to 8 copies of this in your deck. Contains rear guard, if you have a grade 3 get Vanguard, Yamabagari, or Kunihiro, or Kasen Kanasada on the card name. This unit instant from back row and gets boost, so Saul, we have a back row interceptor and a booster. Then we have Special Investigation, Keicho Kumamoto, Grade 2, set order. If set order is played, put it to your order zone. It's an event card. Play your Vanguard as a Kasen Kanesada in its card name, and if your order zone does not have an event with a different card name already in this, if your Vanguard is a Kasen Kanesada, it gets all the following. Auto, when this unit is put on order zone, search for 1 unit card with, oh my god, Kokinden Juno Tachi in its card name. Reveal it, put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. If your order zone has another card with the same card name as this card, when you search for this effect, you may also search a card with Jizo Yukihara in its card name instead. So you could either pull whatever this thing is supposed to be, or you get to pull the booster over here, so not a bad card to have. And then auto orders off the start of your battle phase, your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, rest of choose on rear guard and stand it. And that's why this card over here that has that stand ability exists, because you're meant to rest it with Kanesada, and then you're meant to stand it via the order, and then it gets the skill. So not a bad card to have in the deck at all. Actually a very solid synergistic skill with the rest of the deck, so solid 4-up. And then we have Kokindi Dujatsu Celebration Outfit, grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base. Auto drops them when your grade 3 greater Vanguard Cosmic Kanesada and its card name attacks. CB1, and if you have one or more rear guards with the same name as this unit, put all of them into soul. Call this card to rear guard circle. It gets 5,000 power to end of turn for each special investigation Keicho Kumamoto in the order zone, so get you extra power, get you extra soul as well for only 1 CB, and then auto rear guard when this unit stands by the ability of special investigation Keicho Kumamoto, energy boss 3 draw a card, choose one Vanguards, and that unit, this unit both get 5,000 power, so cool. It can increase the Vanguard's power, it can increase its own power, and it gets you a draw as well for only 3 energy. Not a bad grade 2 to have in the deck, and it's probably your preferable stand target compared to that grade 2 we just saw in a minute ago, but still very solid to have in the deck either way, so 4-up. Then we have Inomagari Tsurugi Celebration Outfit, Great on Boost, 5k Shield, 8k Base. Okay, there's only 4 more cards left, I can do this. Auto Rear Guard, once per turn, when this unit boosts, you may still charge 1. And Auto Rear Guard, if you have a unit with Iwatoshi in its card name, same column as this unit, this costs reduced by Energy Boss 2. When your Rear Guard in the same column as it stands by the ability of Mikazuchi Munocheki, Energy Boss 2 stand this unit. So basically, if it has Iwatoshi in the front of it, it can just stand for free, which is solid, and it gets you a free soul charge every time it boosts. So it helps get soul, which is pretty solid, and it does that generically as well. And again, as long as something stands, as long as was by this thing's ability, you can do that for free if Iwatoshi in the same comments. So not a bad 3/4 if you're running Iwatoshi, but it's a solid like 2/3 if you're running it just for generic soul charging. Then we have Iwatoshi Celebration Outfit, grade 3 10%, 13k base, auto rear guard circle if it would let me. At the start of your battle phase, if you have grade 3 get a Vanguard Mikazuchi Miyochenki is in your card name, Miyocheka, soul boss 1. It's end of turn, this unit gets continuous rear guard. When this unit would attack, it bounces all your plus 1 rear guards in the front of your units in the same battle, and it gets 5,000 power. So basically Vermilion for only 1 soul boss. That's actually really good. It just requires you to be at a grade 3 or greater Mikazuchi Munocheki, so solid 3/4. That's just a board wipe straight up. Then we have our Kagetsumi Maru Celebration Outfit, grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base. This man just looks like it's wolf hair. Continues rear guard circle, it's 5,000 power, 5,000 shield for every 2 grades of your Vanguard with Mikazuchi Munocheki in the card name, after board's turns, which inherently tells you that the deck is going to have a grade 4 Vanguard, because the only decks that do that are decks that have a grade higher than 3, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you it does, so solid 3/4 on that case. Then we have Ishikiri Maru Celebration Outfit, I probably butchered that, grade 10% 13k base, contains rear guard circle right hand. If you have grade 2 greater Vanguard Mikazuchi Munocheki in the card name, this unit gets intercept -1 grade and 5,000 shield, so you can play this on your grade 2 turn while your opponent's at grade 1 is pretty solid. And then auto plays on rear guard circle, counter boss when to draw a card, and you may soul charge. So basically you counter boss to get 2 different resources, but you don't have to soul charge if you're afraid of, again, soul charging a trigger, or you're afraid of decking out. And then auto rear guard once per turn, once you attacks anything, if your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater Mikazuki Monochenki in the card name, it gets 5,000 power till end of turn. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 or a grade 4 or greater, it gets 10,000 out of 5k. So automatically telling you the deck is going to have a grade 4 Vanguard, but pretty solid that it gets more numbers relatively easily. And again, a pretty good resource card that you can play on your grade 2 turn because of its skill. So pretty solid, like 4 for me. Then we have our last card, thankfully, Mikazuki Munuchenki Celebration Outfit. That's the last time I'm saying that name. So anytime I refer to it, I'm going to say his aforementioned name. Auto, a grade 4 triple drive, 13k base. Auto, when placed on rear guard, talk about the ability to reforge. If your Vanguard has the aforementioned name in its card name, you may return this unit to your hand. If you return this card to your hand, your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, and your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, choose up to 1 aforementioned name Celebration Outfit from the hand and write it as stand, and then continues root Vanguard circle. If your soul has a grade 3 or greater card with aforementioned name in its card name, this unit gets all of the act abilities, critical +1, and all your armor units get 5,000 power. Jesus Christ, that's a very powerful ability. And I want to know what this thing used to do, because that's really good to like stack an extra extra crit and then 5k to the front row on top of it. And then Auto Vanguard, this costs to be paid by discard a aforementioned name from the hand. When this unit attacks, discard 2 cards from your hand. Choose 2 of your front row rear guards, stand them, and it gets 10,000 power for the turn. Jeez, okay. Oh, was this the thing that gained power, I want to say, that gave power to all other rear guards? I think that may have been it. I don't think it was in hindsight, but cool. Being able to basically copy a Vanguard's at least act skill and then give itself a crit pressure and then give your front row 5k is amazing. Not to mention the fact that you can pull this superior ride off on your first grade 3 turn if your opponent's at grade 3 or greater, and it also allows you to restand 2 front row rear guards and give them more numbers. Very solid grade 4 to have in the deck. Solid 4 for the aforementioned name deck. And without further ado, that's it for this week's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna go upload this now because Touken and Ranbu genuinely make me hate recording. So yeah, I'm gonna see you on the next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.